Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're talking about something that sounds simple, but can become confusing very quickly. When you're managing more than one health condition, figuring out what you can eat is quite a task. If you have ever stood in your kitchen, looked at a food label, searched online, or wondered whether one food is good for one condition but bad for another, this conversation is for you. Nutrition by condition was created to bring clarity to that exact moment. The moment when you just want a clear, practical answer before you eat. Let's start with what that confusion actually feels like in real life. For many people, food decisions become stressful long before they ever sit down to eat. You may have one doctor telling you to follow one set of rules, another specialist telling you something different, and then a website or food list that seems to contradict both of them. So instead of feeling confident, you start second guessing. Is this food safe? Is it too high in sodium? What about potassium? What about sugar? What about gout? What about reflux? That kind of uncertainty can quietly wear on a person. It can make every meal feel like a test you were never fully taught how to pass. And a big reason this happens is that each provider is usually focused on one part of the picture. This slide captures the reality for so many people. Your nephrologist may be focused on kidney function, your endocrinologist on blood sugar, and your cardiologist may be focused on blood pressure or cholesterol, while your dietitian is giving you general nutrition advice based on the information that you have available at that time. And none of that advice is wrong. The problem is that it often comes in separate pieces. And so the person living with the conditions is left to combine all of those pieces at home, at the grocery store, or in a restaurant, and usually without a simple way to see how they fit together. That is the heart of the issue. The problem is not that people don't care. This is the real problem. People care deeply about their health. They want to make better choices. They want to follow instructions. And they want to do the right thing. But most food guidance was not designed for people who are managing multiple conditions at the same time. A food list for kidney disease may not account for gout. A diabetes friendly recommendation may not account for reflux. A heart healthy food may still create a concern for someone with advanced kidney disease. So the burden gets placed on the individual to interpret, compare, and reconcile advice that was never presented as one complete picture. And over time, that uncertainty becomes about more than food. When people are unsure what to eat, it affects more than the plate. It can create anxiety, restriction, frustration, and even embarrassment. Some people avoid foods they may actually be able to eat. Others keep eating foods that may not be ideal because they cannot get a clear answer. And when every meal requires research, comparison, and worry, eating stops feeling normal. It becomes one more daily responsibility that feels heavy. Nutrition guidance should help people feel more capable, not more overwhelmed. Without a better system, many people end up stuck in a cycle. And this is the cycle that we want to interrupt. Conflicting advice creates stress and fear. Stress and fear can lead to either over restriction or poor food choices. Those choices may worsen symptoms or increase concern, which sends the person right back into more confusion. And the longer that cycle continues, the more exhausting it becomes. The goal is not to make people afraid of food. The goal is to help them understand food more clearly so that they can make better decisions with more confidence. Part of breaking that cycle means letting go of some common diet myths. So before we talk about the solution, We need to name a few beliefs that keep people stuck. Most people have heard phrases like, just eat healthy, look it up online, or ask your doctor. Those can all be helpful in the right context, but they are not enough when several conditions overlap. The challenge is not a lack of information. In many cases, the challenge is too much information that is not organized around the person's full health picture. Let's look at why traditional advice often falls short. Traditional advice often breaks down in three ways. First, eat healthy. It's too broad. A food that is healthy for one person may be limited for another person, depending on kidney stage, blood sugar concerns, gout risk, reflux triggers, or cholesterol goals. Second, online searches are fragmented. You may find one answer for kidney disease, another for diabetes, another for gout, and then you're left trying to combine them yourself. Third, your health team is important, but appointments are limited. A clinician may not have time to walk through hundreds of everyday foods across every condition you manage. That does not mean your care team is failing you. It means people need practical tools between appointments. That is why we built Nutrition by Condition. Nutrition by Condition is designed to act like a personalized food compass. Instead of giving generic food advice, it looks at the health conditions you select and evaluates foods through that combined lens. The purpose is simple: help you understand whether a food is a good choice, something to have occasionally, or less recommended based on the conditions you are managing. It is not trying to replace your doctor or dietitian. It is meant to help you make clearer, everyday food decisions using condition specific guidance. The first step is creating your health profile. When you use Nutrition by Condition, you begin by selecting the conditions that apply to you. Right now, the platform supports chronic kidney disease, hypertension, gout, diabetes, acid reflux or GERD, and high cholesterol. For chronic kidney disease, stage matters. So the profile allows you to select your CKD stage when you know it. That helps make the guidance more specific. Once your profile is set, the tool is no longer treating you like a generic user. It is evaluating foods based on your combination of conditions. Then, when you search for a food, the answer becomes much easier to understand. So, this is where the experience becomes more practical. Instead of reading a long article or comparing several food lists, you get a clear rating. Good choice means the food generally aligns well with your selected conditions. Okay, occasionally means there may be a reason to watch portion size, frequency, or context. Less recommended means the food may raise enough concern for one or more of your conditions that it should generally be limited or discussed with your care team. The value is that the tool does not just look at one condition, it evaluates the food across your selected profile and gives you an overall recommendation. But the rating alone is not enough. People need to understand the reason behind it. Nutrition by condition does not just say yes or no. It explains why a food received that rating. That matters because people need more than a label. They need understanding. For example, a food may be marked okay occasionally because it is moderate in phosphorus for kidney disease, because it has a purine concern for gout, or because it may trigger reflux for some people. When you understand the why, you can have a better conversation with your doctor or dietitian. You can also make more thoughtful choices about portion size, frequency, and alternatives. Let me show you what this looks like through a few everyday examples.
Meet Cami. She's managing three health conditions at once: chronic kidney disease, gout, and high blood pressure. Every time she goes grocery shopping, she's second guessing herself. Is this okay? What about that? It's exhausting. That's exactly why Nutrition by Condition was built. The first thing Cami does is build her health profile. Watch as she clicks Health Profile in the left sidebar. A checklist appears. She selects CKD Stage 3A, then gout, then high blood pressure. Three conditions checked off one by one. She hits Save. The app now knows exactly what she's working with. Now she clicks Food Guidance in the sidebar. Give it just a moment, and there it is. Hundreds of foods instantly organized just for her. At the top, she can see the counts: how many good choices, how many limited, how many less recommended. Everything is sorted into categories like vegetables, fruits, grains, and fish, so she can browse the way she actually shops. She's on the Good Choice tab first. Lots of options here. Then she clicks over to Less Recommended and scrolls to Vegetables. There's spinach. For most people, spinach is a superfood. But for Cami, the app flags it and shows her why right there on the card. Spinach is very high in potassium, and at CKD stage 3, that's the concern. The potassium level is what matters here. She didn't know that. Now she does. She wants to check a couple of specific foods. She clicks Food Search in the sidebar. She types banana into the search bar and hits Search. The result comes back limited. The app tells her why. Banana falls in the high potassium range, and with kidney disease in the picture, that's something to watch. Not off the table, but worth being mindful of. She clears the search and types sweet potato. She hits Search again. This time, it comes back limited as well. The potassium content puts it in that same watchful range for her kidney condition. She saves it to her favorites anyway, so she can discuss it with her care team. Because knowing it's limited is still so much better than not knowing at all. Now Cami remembers she just got her lab results back. She clicks back to Health Profile and scrolls down to the Labs section. She enters her potassium lab value, and it's elevated above the threshold. She saves her profile. Now she clicks Food Guidance and watches what happens. Foods that were previously limited have shifted to less recommended. The guidance just got more specific, not just to her conditions, but to exactly where her labs are right now. That's the difference labs make. Same conditions, more precision. Now here's where it gets powerful. Cami's friend Marcus has gout only, no kidney disease, no blood pressure concerns. He builds his profile with just that one condition, saves it, and clicks Food Guidance. Then he searches those same foods. Spinach? Good choice for him. Banana? Good choice. Sweet potato? Good choice. But Marcus loves chicken liver. He has it every week. He types chicken liver into Food Search and hits Search. Less recommended. The app explains why. Chicken liver is very high in purines, and for someone managing gout, that's a direct concern. Marcus had no idea. Now he does. Same app, completely personalized guidance. Because Nutrition by Condition responds to your profile, your labs, and your conditions, not a one-size-fits-all list. Stop guessing. Start eating with confidence.
These examples represent the kinds of people Nutrition by Condition was built for. They are not people who are careless about food. They are people trying to do the right thing while managing real life health complexity. Each one has a different combination of conditions, and that is the point. The guidance should adjust based on the person, not force everyone into the same generic food list. Let's begin with Maria. Maria is managing gout, high cholesterol, and GERD. Her challenge is that foods can land differently depending on which condition she is thinking about. A food may be low in fat, which helps her cholesterol, but acidic enough to bother reflux. Another food may seem healthy, but may be not ideal during a gout flare. Nutrition by Condition helps Maria see how a food performs across all three conditions at once. Instead of bouncing between separate lists, she gets a clearer explanation of what works and what to limit and why. Now, let's look at James, whose conditions create a different kind of conflict. James is managing chronic kidney disease stage 3B, type 2 diabetes, and hypertension. This is a common kind of overlap. He may be watching sodium for blood pressure, carbohydrates for diabetes, and potassium or phosphorus for kidney disease. That is a lot to hold in your head at once. With Nutrition by Condition, James can search a food and see how it relates to each condition individually, along with the overall recommendation. That helps him understand not just whether a food is allowed, but where the caution is coming from. Sandra's example shows why guidance also needs to be sensitive to protein and kidney concerns. Sandra is a 72-year-old grandmother, and she's managing chronic kidney disease, stage 4, and gout. For her, food decisions can feel especially complicated because protein choices matter. Some high protein foods may support strength and muscle maintenance, but they can also raise concerns depending on kidney function or gout risk. Nutrition by Condition helps identify options that may be more appropriate for her profile and flags foods that deserve more caution. Again, the point is not to replace her care team. The point is to give her a clearer starting place for everyday decisions and better questions to bring back to her clinicians. So now that you've seen the problem and how the tool helps, let's talk about access. We created this founding member offer because we are still early in building something we believe can help a lot of people. The goal is to give early users access now, while also inviting them to help shape the direction of the product. If this problem feels familiar to you, if you are managing multiple conditions or helping someone who is, this is the moment to consider becoming part of the founding group. Here is what founding members receive. Founding members receive access to the core food guidance platform. That includes all current condition engines: CKD, hypertension, gout, diabetes, acid reflux or GERD, and high cholesterol. You can search foods, see how each food rates across your selected conditions, and get an overall recommendation that accounts for the conflicts between those conditions. You also get plain language explanations, so the results are not just labels. They tell you why the food was rated that way. The goal is to help you make better educated choices with less guesswork. Let's break down the core access more specifically. Slide 19. Founding members' access includes the core features that help you use the platform in everyday life. You can create a personal profile, search foods, view clear food categories, see condition-specific reasons, and save favorites for quick access. You may also see optional labs listed as part of the personalization roadmap. As the platform grows, lab information can help support more individualized guidance when available. The important distinction is this: the core access gives you the food guidance platform now, and future advanced features may be added separately as the product grows. And founding members receive something else that is especially important at this stage. Founding members are not just early customers, they are helping shape the future of nutrition by condition. You can submit foods that you want added, flag things that seem unclear, and tell us which conditions or features would be most helpful next. That feedback matters because we want this tool to reflect the real questions people have in real kitchens, real grocery stores, and real doctor visits. One of the most practical ways you can shape the tool is through food requests. No food database starts with every food someone might search. So when you search for something that is not in the catalog yet, you can request it. Founding member requests receive priority review. That means your real life food questions help guide what gets added next. This is especially valuable because people do not only eat textbook examples, they eat brands, restaurant foods, family meals, cultural foods, and everyday grocery items. And when you have questions, we want support to feel human. Founding members also receive priority support access. That means if something is confusing, if you do not understand a result, or if something does not seem right, you can reach out and receive a thoughtful response. This matters because nutrition decisions can feel personal and sometimes stressful. We do not want people to feel like they are shouting into a help desk and getting an automated reply. Our goal is to listen, improve, and support people as the platform grows. Now let's talk about the founding member price. The founding member offer is simple: one time payment, lifetime access to the core platform. The price is $97, and the offer is limited to 100 founding member spots. This is not a monthly subscription you have to remember to cancel. It is a one time opportunity to get in early and keep access to the core app features. We are offering this because we want to build with a committed founding group and because early users are helping us to improve the product for everyone who comes after them. And because we are asking you to join us early, we want to reduce the risk for you. We stand by the value of the tool. If you try nutrition by condition and it does not help you feel clearer or more informed about your food decisions, reach out within 30 days and we will make it right. We want people to join because they believe this can help them, not because they feel pressured. The goal is confidence, clarity, and practical support. So before we close, let me address a few common questions. So here are some frequently asked questions that people want to know. What conditions does Nutrition by Condition currently support? Right now, we support 6 conditions: chronic kidney disease, hypertension, gout, diabetes, acid reflux, and high cholesterol. You can select any combination of these on your profile. We plan to expand the condition library over time, and founding members will have direct input on what conditions we prioritize next. How many conditions can I select at once? You can select all 6 if they apply to you. Nutrition by condition is specifically designed for multi condition management. The more conditions you add, the more food conflicts you will have. It's the core of what makes this tool different from a simple food list. How does nutrition by condition handle conflicting guidance between my conditions? This is exactly what the platform was built for. When your conditions give conflicting signals for a food, say one says good choice and another says limit, you will see the verdict for each individually, plus the overall recommendation with the reasoning explained. Is nutrition by condition a substitute for my doctor or dietitian? Absolutely not. And we want to be clear about that. Nutrition by condition is an educational food guidance tool. It helps you understand how foods align with established dietary guidelines for your conditions. It does not replace your healthcare provider's advice, account for your medications, or consider your full clinical picture. Always consult your care team before making significant dietary changes. What if a food I search for isn't in the catalog? Well, our catalog currently includes hundreds of foods and is growing regularly. If you search for something and don't find it, you can submit a request. Founding members' requests are prioritized. We're adding foods continuously. Can I enter my chronic kidney disease stage? Yes. For CKD, you can specify your stage, which unlocks more precise potassium and phosphorus guidance. Stage specific thresholds matter a lot in kidney disease. A food that's safe at stage 3 may be restricted at stage 4. If you haven't confirmed your stage with your nephrologist, we provide conservative default guidance. Is my health condition information private? Yes. Your condition profile is stored securely, and we do not sell or share your personal health data. Your account is yours. Can I have access to condition by condition on my phone? Absolutely. Nutrition by Condition is a web app that works on any device, phone, tablet, or computer. App Store distribution is on our roadmap, and founding members will be among the first to access the native app when it launches. Listen, if this is resonating with you, I encourage you to claim your founding member access today. Go to whatcanieat.app and choose the founding member offer. There are only 100 lifetime spots available at this price. Once those are gone, this offer will not be available in the same way again. If you are managing one of these conditions or several of them together, this tool was built to help you stop guessing and start making more confident food decisions. I'll leave the link on the final screen so you can take a picture. You can type it in or you can visit now. Here's the website, whatcanieat.app. The founding member access is $97 one time, and only 100 lifetime memberships are available. If you have ever wished you could open your fridge, walk through the grocery store, or look at a menu and feel more confident about what fits your conditions, this is why Nutrition by Condition exists. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I would love to answer your questions now. And if you already know this is for you, go ahead, claim your spot while we take questions.